Hey guys, welcome to match 59, final stages. We had an exciting Saturday. Two teams looked down and out of the competition, SRH and Delhi. Although SRH is technically not, but yeah, big wins for both Lucknow and Punjab. What did you think of the game, Shubham?
Yeah, I think it took 58 games for first team to be officially knocked out. That's the kind of tournament we have had. But yeah, Delhi also were playing well. I think the match was like Delhi pitches become very unpredictable, right? We were
Yeah.
discussing this yesterday. It has had like all types of matches, and that's what it turned out. It turned out to be a bowling track, and Prab Simran just played one of the most exceptional innings, I think. So as fantasy, I think uncapped, most of the folks would have gotten Prab Simran like how we told them, and that should have given you a lot of points.
I
Other
sense
than
some
that, I
pain.
think sorry.
I sense some pain while you were speaking there.
I tried to go that essential route, which did not work out. But that's why we guide everyone. Like depends on what you want to do, right? Like safe or bold. So I
Hmm.
think if you went for your safe uncapped pick, Prab Simran, who turned out to be the easily by far the most precious asset. So I think it was a great performance by him. Punjab is firmly in the reckoning, and it's going to be crazy last 10 games now. I think starting with today, where RCB, my team, looks almost out if we lose today. Not almost, I think they are technically out with RR's net run rate being so high.
Hmm.
So yeah, hoping RCB can prolong their state in the tournament.
Yeah, big game, and I think fun game, like in all aspects, right? Both teams have very exciting batsmen. I think the pitch should play well. Afternoon game, so not much dew factor. So I think all in all, it'll be a cracking game. What do you think of lineup? I think RR I think is pretty sorted. I don't think they're gonna change much. I think they have a very good balance. I don't know about the whole route situation. What do you think? That's the only thing, right?
I think right now, since Root has come in, he has not got an opportunity because the top order has been so amazing, right? Like one match, Butler had a great innings, and then Yashasvi, one
Yeah.
of the best
He's not
IPL knocks
held the
ever.
bat
So,
so far.
sorry.
Not gotten to bat in the IPL.
Exactly, not got into bad, right? So yeah, so I think there is no reason for him to be removed right now. And considering the experience he brings, that's what they are going for. I think if they lose early wickets, Roots comes in and sort of stabilizes for Hetmeyer to go big at the end. So that's a great strategy, I think, considering how like Padikkal has not been able to be consistent. So I see Root continuing, and I actually see him being a decent X factor today
Yeah.
because I feel RCB's power play. I think we were discussing this, right? You were making a point on how both teams in power play look very similar. Sorry. So yeah, so I think that way, if you lose one of Butler and Yashasvi early, Sanju might send in Root at one down. That is a genuine possibility for this game, with Sanju sort of holding himself back. So I think yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see any changes in RR batting or
I think
bowling.
especially if Butler gets out, I think Root comes in, like while
Yep.
Yashasvi is still there. So yeah,
Yep.
I think then they don't change. What about your team? What about RCB? Do they still go with the
RC
Kedar Rawat or do they change?
I don't know. I actually genuinely I was hoping Kedar comes in, makes a difference, but doesn't look like that cricketer now, what Kedar was at number 5. He was just not able to he had no power. I think he's obviously not been training to be a power hitter, right? Like you
Yeah.
require to train for that sort
I
of a
think his
game.
innings changed that game. I mean, if
Absolutely,
they
yeah.
had someone who could come and hit 30, 35 of 10, it would have been
Yeah.
more of a game.
What happened Gujarat game, right? Like we were discussing, a 220 made it so challenging and so humongous for Gujarat, whereas
Yeah,
a 200 might have looked easier. So that's what happened in the Mumbai RCB game also.
exactly. Yeah.
What should have been a 220, 225 score was left to be 200 because of that innings. So I think I personally would want a lot of changes. I definitely want to see a Bracewell, and Savai Mansingh supports a spinner also. So
Hmm.
I think I would like to see a Bracewell instead of a Hazelwood. But seeing a Harshal form, right? Like how bad Harshal has been this year, I think they still, and Siraj is also sort of, as you can see, right? Like he had
Failing.
only greens. Now we see yellows which have turned into reds. So he's absolutely going into that sort of declining trajectory. So that is one reason why I think they will not like push out Hazelwood. And that is the reason why RCB started second favorites this game, because the middle order absolutely lacks teeth. No changes will happen just because we don't have players to replace them. Because Suyash comes in at max, I don't know what value, how big a change he can bring. He has not been performing. Anuj Rawat, I am really very very upset with what he has done. Like what he was capable and what was hoped. He has got that sort of stability also, that he'll come at one down, still not able to perform. So that way, I would like changes, but I don't see players to replace them. So that way, I think the team continues. They continue to back. I see maybe a Shabazz coming in.
Yep.
That is the only thing I see. A Shabazz comes in for a Rawat
Yeah.
and sort of bats at one down.
Yeah.
That is the change I'm actually expecting in this lineup. Other than that, I think just because of no available players, the team remains.
Yeah. I think today that way is scary also for RCB, because if they have that middle over exposed to Chahel, right, I think
Yeah,
he can run right. So yeah, they need someone a little stable, sensible, who can probably bat through. And yeah, I don't think Rawat is capable. So even I see maybe Shabazz coming in.
I think the battle of Maxwell versus their spinners, right? That's going to define the game,
Yeah,
because Maxwell is the only person I think with a clear role in this team other than our openers.
yeah,
He's the one who knows even if he comes at third over, he comes at eighth over, he has to get going immediately. Like that sort of clarity lacks in our middle order, because sometimes they play an anchoring inning, sometimes they play a sort of a come and bust type of an inning. So I think if Maxwell stays and he can take on the spinners, that sort of breaks their confidence and takes to a middle order. But if Maxwell gets out cheaply, I think an RCB can completely fold this game. It's a
yeah,
high possibility.
yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think maybe let's get into fantasy then. So I think opening of both teams, I don't think we need to waste much time on.
Yeah,
Um,
good form, right?
but say you're playing daily. Sorry, say you're playing the season long, and you can just get two of them. Who do you get?
I think I get both the leading orange cap holders, Yashasvi and Faf,
Yeah,
because Kohli and Butler have still looked on and off, I would say. Though their standards have been still one of the best, 400 plus for both of them, I think. But still, just the form Faf and Yashasvi are in is unbelievable.
yeah,
They are on 575 runs, and no one is chasing them right now. So that's how they both have played, and I don't think we need to see beyond these two if it comes down to two picks.
yeah. And I think then, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's much to discuss here. You can't go wrong even with Butler and Kohli, to be honest. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree with you 100%. They're both
What do you
so
think
high
about the
up on.
bowlers?
Yeah, bowling is, I think, again, right? So like Siraj, Bolt, Chahel, some soup. I think these three are standout picks for me. Um, Again, I think this battle is going to define the game and define a lot of our fantasy as well, because there's going to be some, like, not everyone's going to have all four, especially in season long. So I'm very, and Siraj and Bolt, the way they've been going in the power play, I'm sure one or maybe even two of these four are going to fall early. So I think
Yeah,
it's going to be a question of who that is, and yeah, I'm a little worried. But I
yeah,
think amongst these three, I honestly really like Chehel. I think Siraj and Bolt. Siraj, as you said, tailing off. Bolt again picks wickets, but he's not picking more than two in any game. But Chehel, right? God, like
yeah,
just he was. People are like, oh, he's having a bad season, and boom, he's on top of the purple, almost at the top of the
yeah.
reckoning. So yeah, I mean, middle overs, of course, playing his old team, lot of motivations in there. He's in the purple cap run, needs a couple, I think, to catch up to Rashid. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
He was holding it for Rashid at that match, right? So yeah,
so I think Chahel is up, like my favorite, like definite first pick, and then Siraj and Bolt, I think, is close.
yeah. I think the combination of Bolt and Sandeep would definitely cause a lot of trouble to RCB openers.
Hmm.
especially Kohli, right? Kohli has a record of getting out to both, bowled a lot on international circuit, and Sandeep has been
7 times.
sort of his nemesis during IPL, right? So I think if you have to avoid among the four batters, one, I personally feel it could be Kohli
Hmm.
because obviously Kohli is having a lot of, I think he just had that whole sort of argument with Gambhir and Naveen.
Hmm.
After that, both of the innings, he's not been like that sort of confident what he had been. Obviously, Kohli has gained his touch, so he's just one innings away, and this is a crucial game, so he might do well. But tactically, going matchups, I
Yeah.
think Kohli is someone very, very. If he doesn't play out these two, especially the first couple of overs, I think either he goes out very early or he plays a big one, right? Like that is what is going to happen with Kohli this game.
Yeah.
And that way, I think completely the three bowlers you have said here are the standout bowlers easily on either side because and the thing with the other bowlers, right, of both of the sides, none of them have looked like they'll take a bunch of wickets.
Hmm.
Maybe one or two, and that too, like Ashwin, I think will sort of get wickets if you try to take him on. Otherwise, I'm not seeing that sort of a threat what Chahal brings, like a Chahal, a Rashid, or a Piyush, even Piyush Chawla for a matter of fact. They look like bowlers who will take wickets,
Yeah.
even if the batsman is trying to play them out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that sort of brings here. What do you think about the two overseas mid like Maxwell and Hasranga for RCB? Do you put them in X Factor? Do you avoid them? What do you think about them?
So, I mean, just going by the players, they are good, but I'm never convinced with Maxwell. I feel like he's a few years past his prime, and I feel like he just has a few big games in him every season. So considering he just had one somehow, that throws me off. But yeah, I mean, no doubt, right? Like I think he's uh if the pitch is not too bowler friendly, Maxwell always has a shout, and I think the afternoon game and like Rajasthan ka pitch will should help him. And I think what brings him into more limelight for today's game is that he's very likely to bowl today, right? Hopefully. So I think that makes him a very, very good X factor for the day because yeah, I mean, he's a natural wicket taker also. He tends to get wickets whenever he comes and bowls.
Yeah.
So I think he's very good. Hasaranga, I think, is picking up. I think while the rest of RCB's bowling has tailed off, I think Hasaranga is the only one who's
Yeah.
trended upward. He's looking better and better every game. Yeah, I think I like him. I think he can also, get you those one or two wickets in the middle over because I think they will target him as well to some extent. I don't think they're going to play him out or anything. So I think yeah, both of them are good X factor picks.
Yeah.
What do you think
I
of Rajasthan's middle order? Like we I think no one's gone past Yashasvi and Butler and to some extent Sanju. Is there anyone like Dhruv Jorel or even Sanju, right? Like would you consider picking Sanju above any of
Yeah, I think finally Sanju has shown some sort of maturity, I would say, this IPL. This is like even the last match, right? I saw Sanju who was ready to take his time, allow Yashasvi to go.
yeah.
Like a Sanju of sort of say yesteryears would have tried to make it a double-edged attack, try to over attack and get out. But he absolutely displayed maturity, played 20 balls, scoring I think run a ball, and then when he felt he settled, that's when he took the bowlers on. So I think Sanju is a very good X factor. And I would say put Root also there. As I was telling earlier, I have a feeling one of Butler and Yashasvi will go out early today. That is what I have a feeling. Both of them have defined it n number of times, but I think a Root I see coming at one down today, as you said, if Butler gets out. So yeah, Root is a very good X factor according to me, especially if RR is batting first and they don't have a pressure of the scoreboard, right?
Do you think
So
he
I think
bowls
Root
today?
he might bowl also. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is there. The only sort of advantage you can say for him is he bowls to the left-handers who are like weakest link, like Anuj Rawat, Shabazz, or a Lomro, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good thing for him to even get those wickets. And And Sanju's trying to get him in the game, right? He tried to bowl him last match, so he's trying to get Root in the game. So I
Yeah.
think Root is a very
Depends
good
on
X
how
factor.
spin friendly the pitch is also, because
Yeah,
they don't, I think apart from Chahal and Ashwin, they don't have spinning options. I think he's their third spinner.
yeah. They won't play as Zampa. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What other X factors do you have in mind? Or maybe let's knock off. Who do you think you avoid in this game? Like there's a
I think
block of
I
red in the middle. Do you think, like, especially what do you think of Hetmeyer? I think first of this half of the season he was all five greens, and now it's
I
just all five reds.
I think Hetmeyer is not getting those sort of like inning, and that is because of see the top order greens, right? Like Yashasvi especially.
He's just not getting
Like
to.
with Yashasvi playing such long innings,
Yeah,
Hetmeyer is not coming into the picture now because Yashasvi is not even playing like sort of an anchor role. He's going absolutely ballistic. His strike rate is striking at like 180 plus, and which is what Hetmeyer does, right? So Hetmeyer right now sort of his confidence is also low in terms of batting plus Yashasvi's form. I think he's an avoid. Same thing with Padikkal. Padikkal, I have not been convinced at all. He shows that glimpse of like one innings of 30, 40 odd. M- might have an extra motivation to do well against RCB, but still, I think I would still avoid a Padikkal.
yeah. What other like what do you think of? I have like a cup. What do you think of Sandeep Sharma? I think Dream 11. Okay, I think you tend to get him, but season long, I've never seen anyone own Sandeep Sharma. Is it?
No, I think if there is a game where you own Sandeep Sharma, it's today because he is now for sure become the death bowler. He bowled an over above Bolt, right? That was like Bolt had an over, still Sandeep bowled out.
Yeah,
So that shows how much Sanju is trusting him right now, even after the debacle against SRH, and he's going to come and swing that, take one of early wickets of RCB. That's what I feel. So Sandeep is a very good X factor to have today. Whereas I would say the same thing for his counterparts, Harshal and Hazelwood, not sure. I think Hazelwood, like Harshal, is not able to mix it up as he used to do, and Hazelwood generally does not mix up. So one does not mix up, one is not able to. So both of them become like an avoid for me right now. And I see Siraj and Sandeep being a similar sort of role for both their sides.
yeah.
And
And
that is where I think there's a difference.
okay. And one last name before we move on to uncapped and captain is Mr. Ravichandran Ashwin. What do you think of him? I think he
I
might have a
think
big part to
I
play.
think Ashwin, I see Ashwin getting hit today, to be honest. Like, that is the only bowler we target. His batting also, I think, with the form the top order is in, with Root coming in, I don't see Ashwin batting a lot now.
Yeah.
Because Root is not someone who will throw away his wicket as easily as, say, Padikkal or Parag or whoever played for him. So I think Ashwin becomes an avoid for me right now. Not seeing him being that big a threat, to be honest.
Okay. And uncapped, I think Yashasvi no brainer. But who?
I
I
think
think there are a bunch
we should not tell you any other option so that it confuses you.
of.
Don't choose, just get Yashasvi, and I think you
But
should
what
be
if you
good to
already
go.
have him? What's the like?
If
Because
you
there are a
already
lot
have
of
him, I
options,
think
right? There's
yeah,
Vaisak who tends to get wickets. There's Dhruv Jorel who may not come but he backs. There's Lomror who comes up the order. There's KM Asif who again tends to somehow get wickets. So who do you think?
I
One
think I think Karan will play instead of Vesha this game. I am not sure if both will end up playing, so
Karan is not even
that's
uncapped.
why. Yeah, that's why I think Vaishak, you just wait. If you're waiting for the team lineups, then it's okay. Then Vaishak, yes. Otherwise, I think Dhruv Jorel is someone who even batted well against RCB last game, right, at Chinnaswamy. And he's someone who has been given that role of a finisher now. So I think Jorel for me is a very good shout out.
Cool.
Especially if, again, if RR is batting first, I would say.
Yeah.
He comes at, yeah, he might even be sent above Padikkal for all we know now.
Yeah. Cool. Let's quickly get into Dream 11 and maybe discuss captain, vice captain. So I think most of the team picks itself. There are a lot of we've discussed all these players. Maybe one thing is this here, right? How do you choose between Ashwin and Sandy? I think that's one difficult choice.
Yeah, I think what best is, if especially if RCB is chasing, right, and they have a big score in front of them, Sandeep Sharma will become more threatening
Yeah,
because they can't play out both Bolt and Sandeep. Sandeep will tend to get a wicket. So I think if RCB chase, Sandeep becomes better because he'll again bowl the death overs when, and RCB is not a team which will finish the match early, right? So Sandeep becomes a very good option. Whereas if RCB is batting first, I think Ashwin, they'll try to attack more. Maybe he becomes someone, because Kohli will definitely want to play out the swinging overs, and by the time they go to attack Ashwin, he might pick up wickets. So I think that makes sense.
yeah. I think safe captains Faf, Yashasvi, Chahal are the
Absolutely.
obvious picks. But what about, I'm gonna put Kohli, Butler in there because they are safe, but I think the first three are much better, right?
I think Kohli is not very safe for me, to be honest, this match,
Mhm.
because both Bolt and Sandeep, if he navigates the power play safely, yes, but it's a big if for me today.
Yeah,
And that is where I think for me, Faf, Yashasvi, Chahal are standouts. So if
yeah.
you let's like if you have to absolutely go safe, these are the three absolutely like safe picks. And I would rate Chahal, I think, the safest today. He's definitely going to pick up a couple of wickets. So yeah, so that way it's a great of options.
What
What do
about
you think about
Bold?
Bolt?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
you
Maxwell
can
is
say
one.
also.
Dude, Maxwell
Yeah,
for sure. Even though I'm not a big fan, but I think just because he comes into bat, he can take on spinners. He's likely to bowl, get some Rajasthan boys out today. So yeah, I think a lot rests on his shoulders today. He knows it, and he's done well in some big games. So I think Maxwell is definitely a very good bold pick. Um, who else? I think that was the easier bold pick, but who else do you have?
I think my bold pick for today will be Hasranga,
Hmm.
because as you were saying, right, like he's on the incline. They can't afford to play out anyway. So Hasranga is someone I do see causing that sort of damage in the middle.
Yep.
So yeah, I think these
And I
will be
think
my
this one more shout out for me, which you I think agree with, is
route.
Joe Root today. Yeah. I think again, he can be the anchor if depending on the situation. He can have a bowl depending on the situation. So there's big upside there, and of course you can't have a better differential. I don't think there are too many people who will go with Root, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that sums it up. Any other thoughts? Nervous?
With the battle royale, that's my only thought, so that I can come smiling for the last 10 games also. Otherwise, it will be a long season for me. So yeah, hoping it
Yeah,
continues. So yeah,
big
let's
game,
fingers
big
crossed.
game.
Yeah.
Yes, all the best to you, and all the best to all of you.